So, the Seekers of the Storm update just came out, so I've got no strong opinions on the new content yet, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. Instead of the new content, I'm focusing on the existing content and the changes that have been made to them, intentionally or otherwise. So, right off the bat, when I launched into my first run, I immediately felt that the game felt a lot less polished. The escape pod landing has no rumble, like screen shake anymore, and there's also no highlighter over certain interactables, which in this example the mountain train immediately leaving the escape pod. In addition, Thunderslam was now too quiet compared to before where it was too loud, like some parity update between consoles. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they've tried to rectify it and it's gone wrong again. But with that also, the impact of attacks just all feel gone. With the absence of screen shake and the attacks being really quiet, it was just really awkward. You know, clearly from initial impressions, I'm quite disappointed. The quality of the game seems to have diminished with this new update somehow. But the more I played, it got worse, so... Items in multi-shops don't have a glow, for some reason, of their rarity. Acrid's utility will no longer collide with enemies, so you know, it's not really a very effective maneuver for dealing damage. Or, you know, a really fun one actually is just not being able to kill Mithrix. Like, you just can't kill him. I don't know what my sword was, or rather wasn't doing here, but... You know, this is interesting. So, most of this can probably just be chalked up to technical issues and glitches, which it's still pretty egregious that it's managed to get into the update like you can't finish the game. But, you know, hopefully this will all get fixed down the line, I guess. But there's another thing, which I haven't mentioned up in the previous segment. I don't know if it's unintentional or not, I hope that it would be, but it seems really unlikely. How damage is now handled, or rather how the player receives damage. So there's no longer like the red damage vignette, and there's no audio cue when you get hit. You pretty much don't know if you're taking damage if you aren't looking at your health bar. It's really not very helpful. There is a new option in the settings. It's turned off by default for some reason, where you can turn on a directional damage indicator. But it's still pretty useless at letting you know when you've gotten hit, because if you get hit head on, there's no indicator. So it's as about as effective as before, where you had it off. So, you know, with that being the only compromise, I found myself still playing significantly worse, just not knowing if I'm in danger or not. It's not an effective way of relaying information. It's inferior to how everything was before, so why would they remove the better system? I don't know. I really hope that it's not intentional, but if it is, I'm left to wonder, man. This is a pretty major deal to me. It really impacts the feel of the game, but, you know, if that were the only issue, it would be, you know, that's annoying, but sure, whatever. But it's the accumulation of these small details. Like, as I mentioned previously, Acrid cannot collide with enemies, which... that's like an integral part of how I played Acrid. It was I would maybe wail on them for a second and then jump away again, but I can't do that now. So yeah, that's been changed for no conceivable reason. It's the changes like these that keep piling up, and I'm left to wonder, why the hell were all these changes made? Because were people complaining about Acrid colliding with ceilings? Was that ever an issue? Am I out of the loop? And also, like, why is Loaded Knuckle Boom now vertical? Because I suppose it doesn't really matter, but was it necessary to change that? Existing content shouldn't really be changed without a good reason, I think, because not only does it tend to bring in new issues, especially when your code quality looks like this, Gearbox, but, you know, it also feels like having mods forcibly downloaded to your game. So, for example, remove the Scrapper mod. It's cool that I have the option to download that mod, but I don't want to, because I like most Scrappers. Except with here, I have to have Acrid played like crap now. Loader now has to swing vertically, and I'm sure there are other changes that I haven't brought up that I don't know about. I'm sure I could find them quite easily by looking online. On Steam forums, God forbid. But, I mean, regardless, I have still been having fun with the DLC. I'm not trying to act as a fun police, like, you can't have fun with the update. Please stop having fun. No, it's more just raising awareness of the issue, I guess, because Risk of Rain 2 is my favourite game, and I would hate to see it continue down this path of compromising quality for content. But, yeah, you know, let me know, what are your thoughts on this update? Do you think I'm wrong and cringe? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious what other people think. What I have seen, this is mostly reinforced. I'm not alone in what I think about this, but I don't know, maybe I am just the Scrooge of Risk of Rain.